I've been getting a lot of comments recently saying, look out, your Twitch shirts are going to be gone soon, or the devs are going to be mad at me for criticizing them. And if I'm perfectly honest, I don't have any Twitch shirts. I've never had any Twitch shirts in Dead by Daylight. I would still love to have some Twitch shirts. If any behavior employees are watching this, you know, twitch.tv/Rapidmain, I'd love to have some Twitch shirts represent on Dead by Daylight. Just because I criticize the game does not mean at all that I don't like the devs or that I don't like the game. I love the game. Again, I've said this many times. This is my all-time favorite game. And I do really love the devs, but I think it's important to criticize the game and criticize some decisions made, or else the game will go in sometimes an odd direction. And of course, the devs are allowed to go into whatever direction they want. It is their game. It's their choice to do whatever they want. But criticism is always healthy in a community, and if the community voices their concerns, especially in situations like many companies recently have done NFTs. A lot of companies have received massive backlash when they have announced NFTs, and some have just completely canceled these type of projects, because knowing what the community wants is always a good thing. And I think shutting down any type of criticism just kind of brews disaster, really. I know, for example, Dowsy got his Twitch shirts removed, and I do think that was kind of a petty decision, especially because he was just poking fun at some of the developers, aimed towards Patrick and a couple of DBD dev live streams. I think it was just lighthearted fun. It wasn't really that serious, and I do think behavior took it a little too serious. So instead of like reaching out to Dowsy being like, hey, could you like tone it down or something like that, they opted to go into the game files and take out their shirts, which they took time out of their day to take Dowsy's shirts away, which again is just kind of petty if you look at it, because they could have spent that time doing other stuff like fixing some of the optimization in the game. And this kind of sparked debate on the wasteland we know as Twitter, where everyone was saying, oh, well, you know, you're making a big deal out of nothing. It was probably just a bug. They didn't actually take away your shirts. But then there was an email confirmation saying, yeah, you're encouraging harassment or whatever. You're harassing the devs. We took away your shirts because we don't want you representing us. So again, that kind of confirmed it. And a majority of the community agreed that it was pretty petty. And again, I think behavior can still rectify their decision. And I've talked about this before. Behavior is sometimes afraid of taking back some of their decisions, and a lot of the time they instead double down, which again hurts their credibility in the long run. And with the DBD dev live streams, many people have done reacts to it on their own streams. They kind of cherry pick questions as well that they answer from the community. I know that they've done sections where they're like, okay, the most upvoted responses are going to be answered in the live stream. But there have been some that are like very hot button issues, ones that need to be addressed, and some that just were glossed over. And again, they choose to cherry pick some of them. And I think it's important to address everything. Some of the devs who have appeared on the live stream have made some questionable comments, Patrick including. And don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Patrick at all. I think he's sometimes misguided. He makes some odd references. But again, in this sphere of Dead by Daylight, people will look for someone to blame. And since they give us the dev live stream, and since we can't just go, oh, behavior, it's all your fault, like just one company, we're given several devs to look at their faces and names and be like, oh, it's their fault. So some people choose to go out of their way and harass these devs. And I'm sorry that the game's not going in the direction that you want, but if you harass these people, even for making odd comments, it's stupid. Harassment is the cringiest thing you can do online because something isn't going the way you want it. It's like throwing a tantrum over not getting a toy. So people just need to relax. It's not that deep. So while some comments are always a little funny or odd that are made on the dev live stream, I still love them because they made Dead by Daylight the way it is today. I still enjoy the game as much as I can. So yeah, people who harass, you are cringe. I don't endorse any like harassment of the devs or anything. I think if you're going out of your way to send threats to the devs or harass them on Twitter or just talk shit about them, I think you're just a piece of shit. Like, you really just don't need to do that. There's a difference between criticism and harassment. I'm just here to put in my 2 cents because a lot of the time when I'm streaming, I get a lot of these type of questions, and I just thought might as well talk about them on YouTube. Some people have also asked me, like, would you ever become a fog whisperer? And of course, that choice is not up to me. It's up to Behavior. They don't even have an application process. They just go out of their way to choose certain creators. And ever since I started playing Dead by Daylight and making content on it, I always thought it would be really cool to become a fog whisperer. I thought that would be one of the coolest things to do to represent the game as, like, basically an ambassador. I still think it would be really cool to become a fog whisperer. But, you know, as we all know, Dowsy was removed from the program, and to our knowledge, it was because he was critical of the developers and the game quite a lot. And I don't know how I would feel if I were to become a fog whisperer and I couldn't be critical of the game. I want to say what's on my mind. Like, if I'm in the stream and I think something is just not a good decision and a buff or a nerf or a rework was not good, I want to voice that concern. I don't want to, you know, clamor up and be, well, you know, I'm sure they had their reasons. Like, again, I want to give Behavior credit where it's due. Their reworks, graphical reworks have been really cool, but some issues that have come along with it, for example, the optimization, needs to be addressed. But this doesn't mean that all fog whisperers kiss Behavior's ass. I see this a lot. Even some fog whisperers get harassed, claiming that they only kiss Behavior's ass and they never speak their mind, which is obviously just untrue. A lot of the fog whisperers do criticize the devs. I think it's really silly to blame fog whisperers for some of the devs' actions. It's obviously not their fault. They're just trying to represent their favorite game. And again, same as before. If you harass fog whisperers, again, you're just an asshole. I have been enjoying making these discussion videos, and I don't really see myself stopping anytime soon. Of course, always going to be more gameplay. I do really enjoy making gameplay videos, but discussion videos, you know, puts my thoughts out there, and I do really enjoy making them. I always try to make my criticism constructive, because I know the devs don't want to kill their game. That's obvious. They want this game to last in the long run. I do think some practices are making it not going to last as long, but again, they're obviously not trying to kill their own game. With other games coming up soon, I don't think Behavior or Dead by Daylight is going to be killed by any competition. They might be able to compete, but there's no way Dead by Daylight is going to die in a matter of months when a bunch of new games comes out. It's just not going to happen. Behavior, if you're listening out there, I would love a Twitch shirt. Listen, I love your game, okay? I would love a Twitch shirt. So if you're ever open to having another creator representing your lovely game, I would always be down.